Good day all. Welcome to Orbit Farm. Today, I think I've got a very interesting story. I'm getting a lot of messages and a lot of comments about boar goats, and I think there's some myths that I just need to get people to understand, or I can't say myths, but need people on the marketing side. To me, I think I enjoy talking about the marketing side because keeping the animal is another story. The marketing side is a different story. And the marketing side is the most important one because at the end of the day, you have raised these animals and you need to go to market. And when you go to market, you need to be able to go to a market with a product that is that you understand what you are selling. Because right now I think a lot of people don't understand when I talk about boar goats or when I talk about ordinary indigenous goats. On the boar side, I think it's a very complicated side because boar goats is not about a simple matter of me taking the goats, me raising them, me saying that I've got a boar goat, and then me selling it at a price which is ridiculous. No, it's not like that. There's a lot of factors that boil into you one doing the boar goats and you being able to sell them at the prices that you're going to be able to demand. If I go and I buy what is known as an ordinary goat or an ordinary boar goat, these goats here in Zimbabwe, I still believe that they're overpriced. Reasons being is because these ordinary goats are the ones which were selling $150, if sometimes not $200. But this goat that you are buying is just an ordinary goat. And the reason why I'm buying $150 is because I'm also buying a goat which is one, grass fed, which is actually just growing on its natural by its natural hormones, and which is not growing as fast as the goat that you want. Now let's go a bit backwards and let's rewind it a little bit. Now, what am I saying here? I am saying that one, if I have a boar goat, for me to charge $150, it's not for it just to be grass fed. I also have to pen feed it. And why I'm saying pen feeding is that I'm also giving it additional nutrients. This is including goat nuggets and all those kind of additional feed so that it gains weight within a short time, in a reasonable time, so that by the time it is at least 1 year, yes, it should be about 40-50 kgs, but that 40-50 kgs should be of tender meat. Now we're talking about tender meat. You're selling me this goat at 1 year, but it is not tender meat anymore. This goat is already hard meat because it has been feeding off itself. It is not, I am not feeding it anything. It is scavenging for itself. At the end of the day, I'm coming and I'm charging 150. That is not how we should be charging these goats. This is me thinking outside the box, because still, if I want to say that I've got those 100 goats and I want to go sell them to a butcher, they will actually not buy them at $150 per goat. Reasons being, that meat is already tough. I need tender meat. So for me to be saying I'm paying a goat at $150, I need you to have one, pen fed it, fattened it. Then I can say I am going to be willing to spend $150 for that goat. But if you're telling me that for $150 you're giving me just an ordinary goat, which I'm doing absolutely nothing for, then I don't think we are in the same category, or people are talking about it, or we are not giving value for money. And when you go into that kind of space, then you know very well that you're not going to be able to make your money back if you want to go into that route. At the same time, then there come those ones who are breeders. The breeders are in a different league of their own. Why we're saying that they're in a different league of their own is because these people are taking care of these animals. They are making sure that they are highly vaccinated. These animals they are looking at the breeding cycles, and the breeders are looking for trying to create animals with better structures. And when they are creating animals with better structures, they are doing a lot of genetics. And when they're doing genetics, it means that those goats become very valuable, because they are looking at how it stands, how it hooves, how the body structure is, which goat it's mating with. They are the ones who are normally in the Boars Association of Zimbabwe or the other Boar associations of other countries or whatever region they are in. They are now really more focused on those goats, and those goats are being focused on the basis of you are now being able to get those goats, and you are now trying to improve the genetics of those goats. Those people are the people who you start seeing from the $500 range all the way to about $2,000 to $5,000, depending on how they've done their genetics. These are the ones which you go to the shows and you see those ones at the shows, and when you see them at the shows, they're selling them at those prices. They have done a lot for them to achieve those kind of figures and those kind of levels of body sizes. And normally these goats, you will not find them roaming even for 1 second. You won't find them anywhere roaming. If you find goats which are roaming, those ones you will not find them roaming, because these people are taking care and they do not want any diseases to affect these goats. They do not want anything to affect these goats. They are really looking at their day-to-day growth, and these people are not feeding them anything. They're just not feeding them hay from anywhere. They are actually feeding them proper nutritious feed. So when you see a person charging you 500 to 1,500, this person is not just keeping this goat on open field or letting it roam. They are actually doing a lot of genetics, making sure that it actually grows well. That is the group of goats that we have for the boar. Then comes our local goats. Our local goats don't grow fast. So therefore they do not grow fast. There's a limit of how much you can sell them. Normally, when we say a local goat has reached a size of being sold, it is normally at about 20 kgs. At 20 kgs live weight, we are saying our ordinary goat has reached the limit of its body size. And that is normally about a year and a half. Now at a year and a half, where do you then sell it to? Normally, this is where you normally sell it to other people. That's why we're saying that anything from about $40 to $50, depending also on your veldt of land. If your veldt land is in a land whereby there is good, then automatically it will fetch a higher price. But if it's in an area where the grass takes longer for it to grow, it will obviously command a lower price. So you, as a person who is doing this goat, you need to say to yourself, how best are you doing it? Local goats is a matter of you being able, if you can quickly get them to the body weight which is fast, then the better. But if you are going to fatten them and use other things like hay and all those additional things, then you need to then work out that, is it making sense for you to get them to that size that you need? At how long does it take for them to get to that size? It will be a very, very important thing, so that you are able to say to yourself, my goat has got to the size I want it to get, and I've got it to that size using A, B, C, D ways of getting it to grow big. So another way we look at local goats is, how do you then go to market with them? I always want to talk about marketing, because this is the way we are failing as farmers. I cannot go to market and say to a person, I've got 6 or 7 goats that I want to sell, because they're going to say that it's too little. And also the transporting costs and me moving them from point A to point B, it's not going to be very valuable for you. If it means that you need to work with a community or with others to get them to probably about 50 to 60 goats, and then going to an abattoir with 60 goats, those goats abattoirs will be willing to buy from you. Now, another thing that you can also think about when you're looking at goats is, can I sell to the supermarkets? Yes, but when you sell to the supermarkets, you need to also know that these supermarkets need quantities. It is pointless you coming with 10, and after 10 you are not able to feed that market again. Then you are not really valuable to them. But if I can keep on feeding that market of, at least, if we just look for one shop, if you guys are in a community, Look for one shop. And then you say to yourself, we're going to offer you goats for the whole year. We're going to be able to slaughter 10 for you goats every week. And you come to an agreement of how much those 10 goats are going to cost per week. You may find that you actually doing local goats is more profitable than you ever imagined. But because we do not have those kind of quantities, it's difficult to then go to a supermarket to sell this idea to. But if you guys can come up in a community and you can actually produce those numbers, then you will find that you are actually found a market for yourself. This is one way we are saying that, we are looking for markets. This is a market opportunity. But I want you all to understand, in conclusion of all this that I've said, is that you should market your goods according to how much you've actually spent. Not the other way around. Not because next door neighbor is selling his goats at $100, mine should also be 100. There is a reason why he wants to sell his goats at 100. Is he probably putting in all the medication? Is he putting in all the things that are needed for him to get to that 100? Yes, probably he is. Probably he's not. But if the person is doing all those things, they have a reason to put their goat at $100. You who is just open field doing your goats does not necessarily mean that you should be demanding $100. Is your breed worth demanding that $100? Am I willing to say that this goat of mine, yes, for sure, as much as it is worth $100? If it is worth $100, then I can sell it at $100. The value of your goat is only the value of what you yourself have made it by the things that you have done and the inputs you have put into your goat. So do not look at everyone next door's neighbor and say that because their goat is that much, mine should be that. You should do it according to your own maths. Your own maths is involving how you have raised it, how you have done your vaccination, how old your goats are, and what kind of breed they are. These are the factors which are determining the value of your goats. Well, I hope I've answered those gentlemen and the ladies who have been asking me about how much I should sell my goats. Are they worth 500? Are they worth this much or that? I hope I've answered it to the best of my knowledge as I can. And that is the only way I can help you. Thank you very much and have a good day. And thank you for those who are subscribing and liking the channel. Please subscribe and keep on liking. Thank you and have a good day.